Hello and welcome to the Ed Talks About podcast. I would like to inform you that what you're about to listen to are our views and comments from the host and guests. They only reflect their view and not the community as a whole. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And Eddie, play that witty banter section.
Who's ready for MCM?
You can't see me right now, but I have a very traumatized look on my face.
I want a picture of it. I want you to send it to me.
I say less. I'm getting my phone out right now. Oh, God,
I love
that's too ugly. I was gonna send it to you, but I do not look pretty. I'm gonna keep this image of myself in your mind. That's just gonna tear it down.
You can't keep shit like that away from me. That's not fair.
It is
Okay,
fair.
fine. I'll take it for you again later.
Oh, that's
It's not going well.
It's not going well.
Crunch.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, we can't talk about Con Crunch. No.
We can. It's true, and I'm not ready because none of my fabric has arrived.
It's very relevant to a lot of people. You shouldn't not hear us speak about what's on our minds. Are you trying to suffocate this part of us? These feelings that are so real? Oh okay,
God.
then.
Damn it. I can't even ban it because it wasn't banned in the other one. No!
Yes. It's free.
Hello everybody, this is the Talk About Podcast, a weekly podcast about cosplay, Comic-Con, and everything else. I'm your host, Eddie. Oh, thank God we're getting this far at least. This week on the podcast, we are doing the FnC Room 101. Woo!
Yeah!
We're back. I'm back. No, did I ever leave? Who knows? Anyway, joining us on the podcast is Honeybee. No, Bee of Honeybee. That's it. That's right, isn't it? And then we've got Libra Lee. Hello, you two both.
Hey!
Hello. Oh God, sorry. We've had a few technical issues. I'm not going to blame anyone. B.
Hey,
Eddie.
What? I said I wasn't going to blame anyone. B.
You did blame, though. We're blaming you.
I am
You're
not
host.
taking this. I'm
That's
out.
not... See you then.
If
Bye.
I were to leave, you would have less technical issues. So maybe I will. No.
No, don't leave me with Eddie. Please don't leave me with him.
Wow. Thanks.
Welcome.
Jeez, God. Anyway, what was I going to say? So we're doing another FnC Room 101, which I was at one point going to rename it to the Cosplay Hill I'll Die On, but I don't know if that would roll off the tongue as well as it does. But yeah, so we'll still call it the FnC Room 101. So for those who don't know, basically it may be a copy of a show that was on BBC where people would put things they didn't like about the world into Room 101, which is based on a George Orwell 1989 book. I think 1989. I think anyway, someone could correct me. I don't care. Anyway, so we're going to do that. But before we do that, I just want to check with my guests. So, B, how are you? How are things in the last 7 days for you?
Well, that is a very interesting question you asked me. And my answer to that would be high-pitched screaming. Con Crunch is killing me off very slowly, but also not slowly at the same time. Thank you for asking. I hope you have been well in these last 7 days.
It's brilliant.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. The only thing I can say to you is, would you like
Just
to go
be
back
happy
to
you're a photographer?
Would you like to have a cup of
Whoa,
tea?
whoa. No. My con crunch happens after the con itself, not before it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Unless he's got a backlog.
Fuck off. We're going to talk about backlog. We'll talk about backlogs in a minute. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Anyway, Libra Lee, how I'm just going to go to Libra because it'll roll off the tongue a lot quicker and easier. Libra, how are things with you? How's the last 7 days for you?
Painful. I've had to revise for all my exams that are this week, and my fabric hasn't turned up for my cosplay. So, yeah.
Why am I laughing? I don't know why.
I wouldn't laugh. I've got to do a psychology exam and a human biology exam within a day of each other.
Is this like A-levels?
Yeah, degree.
Degree? Oh, those are the big boy exams.
Yeah, the big boy exams.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
This is all too nice. I don't like it.
Oh, do you want me to be nasty? I'll be nasty to you.
Whoa! I didn't ask for. Do I want to be
Hey.
nasty?
You called me out earlier for my technical issues, which were not even in my control.
I mean, that's true. That is actually very, very true.
We could always talk about your photography poses.
Oh my god! Okay, right. Okay, so by the time this goes out, this
Ooh.
will be like 2 days before actual Comic Con. So I stupidly, although I like to be proven right, that I put a challenge to everyone that if anyone catches me at MCM London doing a stupid pose or catch me on the floor, they can take a picture of me, put it on social media, and tag me. Because I'm going to prove to the world I do not do that all the time. I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just saying I don't do it all the time. So I'm expecting 1 or 2 pictures, not tens of hundreds.
So that's where you're wrong.
Oh, for fuck's...
I mean, considering I have like 12 from doing one shoot with you.
And I think I have 3. I think I have 3 from when we did my Athena shoot in May last year.
I don't like this bullying. I don't like this aggression
Well, you
towards
chose the
me.
guests. You're the accountable one here.
How am I the accountable one?
Because you need to account for your actions of inviting us to your podcast, so you have to take whatever we throw at you.
I don't like this. Anyway, I'm going to move it along. As I mentioned, we were doing it. Oh God, I'm trying to block this out of my mind. We're going to do We're going to do an FnC Room 101. We're going to use the same 4 subjects we've done. I think in the last 2 or 3 podcasts based on this. So we're going to do a round on cosplay. We're going to do a round on photography. A round about our own lives. And something about food, because everyone keeps referring to the food and cosplay podcast. It's just not. It is not. I'm just saying it's not. But because it's part of the branding of food and cosplay, I might as well add food to it. So we'll do that.
You post enough food on social media.
Only on Instagram because people kept moaning about it.
Yeah, but where was my invite?
Ah! I've
You
actually
go to all
slid
these
on my...
really nice restaurants, and I'm like, well, where's my invite?
Where's my invite? I don't know how that argument works, but I'm just saying it.
Where's my invite?
You don't have to be and have it all by yourself, you know.
Exactly.
Oh God, damn it!
Right, Eddie's taking us out for dinner at MCM.
Whoa!
Oh my God,
Problem
yeah, I can't
solved.
wait. There's a really nice Italian close by.
How did this happen?
By being food and cosplay.
You should wait for my foodie one to come. We'll talk about Italians in a minute. Anyway.
I was thinking dim sum, but okay.
Oh no, there's another.
Yum.
I'll say this now. So when I was briefing my guests about this subject, this topic, I better show them like the previous ones that we've spoken about so that we don't overlap each other. And because of the way I shorthand write the notes, I just wrote Italian. And
I honestly thought you were on about Italian people in general, not the food.
well, exactly. But B took quite an offense to that.
Yeah. What's wrong with Italians? I'm Italian. What's wrong with Italian
There is
food?
nothing
This food's
wrong
amazing.
with Italian food.
Yeah, no, it was Italian food. It was pasta. Basically, they were just saying how pasta itself it's plain and boring.
Have they made it? No.
Well, they're plain
I
and
don't
boring.
understand.
I don't know who this is, and I'm really sorry. You're probably a lovely person, but you're plain and boring if you don't like pasta.
I'm going to keep that quiet because I want you to go and listen to the podcast at a later date. But anyway, let's get...
Was it you, Eddie?
No, it wasn't me. God, I'm not that stupid to
Oh
say
no,
that.
is it one of my
Jesus
friends?
Christ.
Oh no.
There's only one way to find out.
Oh, good lord.
No, I can tell you. I know. I can tell you it's not someone you know, so it's fine.
Okay, good. I don't have beef with a friend of mine unconsciously.
Oh God, I could do some beef right now. Anyway, we're not talking about food. Not yet. So, anyway, we're gonna. So what we're up to. So let's do this. So as each round, we'll say our piece. We'll have a little discussion about each thing we talk about, and then at the end of it, we'll all go, I think this person was more right than that person, and they can vote for their own. It's up to them. And then if it's a tie, it's a tie. I can't be bothered to put to a vote because every time I make every time I say to people, let us know in the comments, no one does it. So if it's a tie, it's your fault. That's what I'm going to say. Anyway, I feel like I've just offended a lot of people, haven't I, who listen to this podcast, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, on that note, I will let's get B out of the way first, all right? So B, what in the cosplay in anything to do with cosplay, what would you like to put in this mythical imaginary room 101, the FnC Room 101?
Microplastics, be it from foam, fabric, or anything else. I despise microplastics, especially when you're using foam in a Dremel, because it just gets everywhere, right? Including up your nose if you're not wearing the proper protection, aka a mask. And even when you're wearing a mask, I just don't like it. It gets everywhere. It's really annoying to clean up, and I'm a very lazy person. I really don't want to do much cleaning up. And microplastics, they're the bane of any project that I do. I want to craft loads of props, but then when I think about actually doing it and all the mess and microplastics that are going to be made, I don't want to do it anymore. That's the one thing coming between me and being a prop master. Microplastics. I hate them. Thank you.
All I'm hearing, B, is that you just don't like tidying up.
Hey, actually, there's a lot of health things linked to microplastics as well. I'm a fursuit maker that you would know if you listen to Furries in This Economy. Also,
great segue, I love it.
Oh, I love that.
And especially from fake fur microplastics, you can get something called groomer's lung, which really, really does affect your breathing, especially later on in life. So there are real life consequences to microplastics, not just me being lazy, okay?
No, I'm just calling you out for being lazy. That's all it is. I've got no real basis for it, no real comeback for it. I just heard that you're just being lazy. No, generally, I didn't realize there was a terminology of microplastics. I know of it. I know I've seen it, and I did think to myself, like, I swear, a couple of weeks ago, I thought, I wonder what happens to those tiny little bits of bits. I think the other day I actually asked the G-Man. I don't want to say it just because it might activate my Google. Yeah, good. I did say, where does like dust come from? And like I'm just going, because I don't understand why there's so much dust in my home right now. I do not understand it, and I'm assuming it's more or less akin to that if you see all this microplastic around, that it's hard to get rid. Not saying get rid of it, because you don't. I don't know. I mean, it is small, but it's not like tiny. Am I wrong by saying it's not teeny tiny? It's not like dust size.
It's tiny. It's like visible. Like especially when you're using the Dremel and foam, you can see the little black dots everywhere, so you know where to clean up. It's just they're never ending. They go everywhere because they travel in the air as well, and they can just deposit themselves. Not that you should use a Dremel in your room, but they can deposit themselves on the other side of the room to where you're working. It's not very convenient.
Well, no. I mean, to be fair, cosplay doesn't have like in a sense, a rule book to how to do things. It's just people have picked up how to do things along the way, I'm guessing. I mean, Libra, chime in. Is this how? Because I'm not a cosplayer, but you are. Am I saying what I'm saying is right?
Yeah, people have just picked up as they go along. Some people are lucky and they can have like a shed where they can do everything, and some people have to use their rooms, and it does get everywhere. Especially if you've got like pets, and then you try and clean up everywhere, and they somehow still get hold of all of the stuff. It's like glitter. You just never get rid of it.
Oh God, don't talk about glitter. Oh, glitter. Jesus Christ. That's like that. Oh, you can't get. I swear, I found. I think food glitter on my face, and I'm like going, where did that come from? I couldn't work it out for like ages. So I don't know if it was something recent or just something that's been floating in my home. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, dust is just human skin anyway. I mean, that literally is what dust is. So.
Yes, I know. I just didn't want to hear it out loud. I don't want to hear it out loud.
Well, just talking to a human biology student, you will hear it.
Oh, God. It's just, ugh. No, but I think you got made. No, I mean, going back to. It sounds like your point is very serious about microplastics. I mean, there's nothing to really take. Like, I mean, it's bad for the environment at the very least, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's terrible because then it gets into the water systems and you drink it. Yeah, in summary, it's not fantastic for me or for anyone.
Yeah,
Especially if people eat fish as well.
That's
So,
true.
I love
I
fish
love
as
a good
well.
piece of
so
fish.
people have found like microplastics in fish.
And
that they
then
want
Really?
to
they
eat.
eat the fish, and then we have microplastics. Wahey! I mean, not wahey, but
Mm-mm. Oh, no. Well, I did think of getting plastic surgery, but this is not how I imagined it.
For a start, you're in the wrong country to do it.
Wow, thanks.
Group trip to Korea, anyone?
Oh yeah, I could look like one of those BTS boys.
We can eat and get plastic surgery in South
Oh
Korea.
my
Yeah.
god, that'd be such a great idea.
Korean
Oh my,
barbecue.
oh man. Oh no. Okay, let's do it. Let's all plan it together. Still not paying for any of you
Fantastic.
guys.
Oh,
That's just rude.
that's
Well,
really
So
nice of
Eddie's
you,
paying for
actually.
our Korean barbecue then.
Oh,
I'm.
sounds good.
I. Hang on. I didn't agree to any of this.
That's
You said
okay.
food.
Your opinion isn't required.
Oh, okay. Nice to know.
But his credit card is.
Motherfucker, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, before I lose all control of my podcast again, let's move on to Libra. What is your something about cosplay you would like to ban, put into my FnC Room 101?
It's when you do a cosplay shoot, you've worked so hard on like a cosplay, like armor build. You do like a shoot with a photographer and then you get people sniping. Or they surround you and you're just like, it just, why don't you just wait, have some etiquette to go in, oh, I really like this person's cosplay, I'll wait till they're done with this photographer and then get a photo. And the amount of people I've had where I'm like with my friend, they're having a photo done and someone's behind them taking a photo, and now it's got to the point where people are now standing in front of people's cameras and it's just, there's no etiquette to it for like cosplay shoots sometimes at con. They just want their photo and just leave, and it could be the most ugliest photo that you somehow find yourself on the internet with, instead of waiting for someone like 5 minutes to get that decent photo that looks 100 times better than someone just going, yeah, that's good enough. And you got like, you look like the facial expressions, some of them just like, no, sorry Eddie, I have been at one of your photo shoots and someone has sniped where I've looked at you and they've sniped a photo and I'm like, this, and then the photo that you've took is 100 times worse. So we've had to retake the photo because of that one sniper or a few.
Yeah.
My grime on the cosplay section.
Oh, no, I mean, everyone knows this is like my biggest gripe just within the Comic-Con cosplay photography world. It's, I just, everyone knows my feeling. I've done a podcast on it. I've mentioned it numerous times throughout other podcasts for it. And yeah, I think I have half defended it before by saying I can understand why someone would just snipe, because either people just cannot be bothered to wait, or it's, oh, someone's already done the hard work by putting the pose in. I shall take a picture because that looks like a good pose. I like that, without thinking, oh, someone's put in the hard work for that. Because as much as I just go, hey, do this, stand there, do that, they don't see that the hard work I've put in by going, I went onto the internet and did my pose check and go, oh, this is the pose I want to do for said person. I'll do this. Oh, this is a good location. That's my hard work. It's not. It doesn't. It may look easy, but I've made it look easy. It's not easy because I've put in the hard work beforehand, and I've done this for many years. Sorry, I've just gone on a mini rant, haven't I? I just realised that.
Yeah,
But
I feel like it's not just the new people that have come to Comic Con. It's like veterans that have been going for like a good few years now. And you would have thought they would have gone, oh, okay. And like, I bet you it's happened to them as well, but they won't admit it.
oh yeah, we have all, regardless of when we did it, we've all sniped someone else's photo, and I will not be ashamed by saying I have sniped, but it's not because I knew better. It's not because I knew better. It's because I didn't know at the time. But now I refrain from sniping, at all. I just try not to. I stand and wait. If I can't be bothered to wait for a photo, I'll just go elsewhere, because if I can't be bothered to wait for them, why should I, in a sense, give my time? It's not to sound in an arrogant way. I'm not saying I don't want to wait because I'm too good for waiting. It's because actually I can use that time elsewhere to take a photo with someone else who might want to, who's free and wants to take wants to have a photo taken. That's all.
Honestly, oh my god, somehow my friend found some pictures of me that were sniped online, and I'm not gonna lie, a few years ago I had a big cosplay hiatus. I stopped cosplaying for about 3 years and a half. And I'm not gonna lie, the pictures that I found of me that were sniped were a big contribution to that. I very much like being in control of my pictures, and I work with only a few photographers that I can completely trust, because I have, funny being a cosplayer and being really insecure about how you look, but that is exactly what the situation is. And it the lack of control that I had over what is seen of me, because people are sniping and just releasing the pictures without asking, I found it really damaging to my self-confidence as well. It doesn't help that the edit was the most just whitewashed thing in existence. Like, there was no difference between, though I had no nose. The exposure was just cranked up so much that I had no nose.
Oh
And
my god.
yeah, so sniping, it's just, it doesn't do wonders for the cosplayer. It doesn't do wonders for the person who's sniping, because they're probably not even going to get the best pictures of you because you're posing for someone else. And yeah, it's a bit embarrassing how little manners people have. I don't want to offend anyone by saying that, but like, it's not very good. Like, however, what way you look at it, you're taking a picture of someone without their permission. Like, that's just the concept of sniping. So let's not do that.
No, absolutely. The only thing I would say, and I'm not condoning it. I'm just trying to understand where. I'm trying to be curious, not judgmental. Walt Whitman, if anyone wants to quote me on that. I can understand that if you're from a world where, let's say, the modeling world, you have to take those pictures quite quickly and quite fast because everyone's trying to get that photo, everyone's trying to get that angle, everyone's trying to get that one moment. You take it, you send it to your editor, bam, it's on the, it's in the magazine the next day or the newspapers, whatever. But not being funny, that's not that. But that world is that world. The Comic-Con world, cosplay world, is not the same, and people need to realize that there are different etiquette in one world to another. Just because you do things in one world doesn't mean you do it in the same in the other.
What also people forget when they snipe is, like, they forget that there's someone under that cosplay. Like, they might act incredibly confident in their cosplay because they are completely someone else. They take on their characteristics, all that kind of stuff. But behind that might be someone who's not incredibly, like, their body confidence isn't great. They might have body dysmorphia and all that kind of stuff. So they don't really see the person. They post and go, "Oh yeah, that's great," and then you'll see comments where they go, "Oh, this person, they don't look right," all this kind of stuff, and they'll see that eventually because someone is going to show them it.
Yeah.
And then it will knock their confidence more, and then they will slowly not want to cosplay that person anymore because it gives a negative connotation to what they've done.
No,
and it may take them years to then re-cosplay that character.
Yeah.
But they're always going to be self-conscious that that's going to happen again.
100%. But just before I forget, I don't want to dismiss what B was saying. I'm glad you told that story, and I'm sorry that it made you feel so uncomfortable that you stopped cosplaying because of that. So, but I'm glad you're back in it, and you found your confidence, and yeah, I'm just really sorry that you had to go through that. But hopefully, that made you a stronger personality of a person. If that makes sense.
Yes, in fact it did. And now it has led to you getting your ear chatted off by me in your podcast.
I'm so glad. Talk about chewing the ear off. I think it's my turn to talk about it, and I feel like my one's not that good compared to the others I've just heard. Which is basically mine's going to be about the social media comments. I wish people stop using the internet as a way to say whatever they want without any consequences. I think that's such a weird concept that people think they can just create an account and then just say that the most. You might think it's right. So there's a couple of thoughts here. There's a set of people who think, oh, I'm being pleasant here, I'm being complimentary, but don't realize how creepy it sounds. There's also a set of people who will just say nasty things just to get reaction. And there are general people out there who write things who think this is I'm writing to be nice. They're not the people I'm targeting. It's the first two groups I'm talking about. It's like what first of all, the second group, the ones who decide, do you know what? I just want to cause mayhem and troll people. Like, no, go away. I don't have time for you. You know, I've done a podcast about it before, and I know I said in that podcast, don't troll back, but I end up trolling them back, and I just think,
oh yeah, with your comments, like you get the DMs and that, and they're just hilarious.
oh god, oh my god, the amount of DMs I get about certain things, about we saw you like dog collars, so would you like to test these? I go, what? Why do I want dog collars for? Oh my god, no. But like the actual comments about like, oh, you look good in that. Oh my god, you're so hot. Oh my god, you're hot and cool. My reply was, scientifically, you cannot be hot and cold at the same time, unless you're a baked Alaska. But anyway. So it's things like that I just find really odd that people think that the internet is a complete anonymity of who you really are. It's weird that you may think the internet gives you power, but it really doesn't. Ugh.
And it's like the same with Negri. Whenever she posts, you see the comments, and I'm like, she is an amazing cosplayer.
I know.
And she has to deal with all these shitty people that go, oh, Negri. Like, I'm like, she's not going to fall in love with you over a comment. She is in a happy relationship.
What?
Yeah. I see some comments and I'm like,
So I find that it's bleeding a lot into real life as well, because last time I went to a convention, there was someone cosplaying Eric Cartman from South Park. And for those who don't know, he is a relatively overweight character. And I was just walking behind this cosplayer and behind another group of kids. And they were like, oh my God, look at that guy over there. He's cosplaying skinny Eric Cartman. So like, it bleeds into real life because people get this confidence online that then they exhibit at conventions, and it's just not nice to be on the receiving end of that at all.
It's weird that people. I was going to say, but I was going to butt in very quickly by saying I find it weird because I'm the photographer, so I just take pictures of different people. So I always said I feel like I only get like a 1% of what actual cosplayers get on a daily basis, and like. I would find it a struggle to open up social media based on like the comments they would receive. And it's just, I don't know how you can keep going as a cosplayer or using social media thing. I just find that utter. You should all get medals for just waking up as just one a female, 2 as a female cosplayer, or 3 just standing up for your own rights. But anyway. I've just noticed the time. Yeah, go on.
Unfortunately, we've got to have a thick skin, and I feel sorry for like the new cosplayers that have come in, and they get these comments and they don't know what to do with themselves. They just think, oh, they're being really nice, and then in reality, it's literally just the worst. And some comments are like really, I'm going to say this as nice as I can, really rapey, if you get what I mean.
Oh god, yeah.
And I'm just like, honey, they're like in their 40s, you're like 19, 20 with these comments. Like, that is not cool. Just block and delete them and just move on. Like, who cares if it was that one follower? If he's going to be like that, just block and delete.
100.
Move on.
100%. Anyway, we've spoken way too much about this subject. We need to move on. So let's make a quick vote. So B, from what you've just heard, between sniping, your own microparticles, microplastic, and social media comments, which one would you vote for to go into our FnC Room 101?
I'm going to say social media comments because I think while all the other ones do affect us, I think these comments affect us in such a way that it seems a lot more significant than the other. It can really break you down a lot more than the others.
Okay, I was shocked to hear that. Okay, all right. Libra, what about you? Which one would you like to vote for? Do you want to stick to your own one or switch?
I'm going to go for the social media comments as well.
Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, see, because I was going to switch over to sniping because I will defend that. To not defend it, but I hate it so much. I would rather that. But we will put in our fictional FnC Room 101 social media comments. That's now locked away. We don't have to deal with that ever again, which is great. Anyway, woohoo!
Yay!
We are going to move on. We're going to do something to do with photography. And I feel like as the resident photographer here, I better start. So, I this is slowly brewing in me for a few months now. And I've been hearing it from a few photographers, and it really fucks me off. I don't understand that photographers who flex about their backlog, their photography backlog. I do not understand it. That to me is not a flex. Those who go, oh my god, I got such a backlog of photos, but I still want to shoot with you. Oh my god! Ah! I say, no. That shows me the lack of 1, professionalism, 2, organization, 3, why would anyone shoot with you if you openly say I have a backlog? That says to me you'll never see your photos, and if you do, I would worry about the quality that comes out. And 4, and this is the one that I think this is from my own personal internalness of me. I feel like that reflects on other photographers, especially me. Because if you hear one photographer that goes, oh, I've got a backlog, oh, that means that all the other photographers have got a backlog. I said, excuse me, I try my best to clear my backlog as quickly as possible. I also have a day job as well. I have to cook, travel, and things like that. And everyone else does the same, exactly the same. And yeah, I just feel like when people make it such a demeaning thing by saying, "Oh, I've got a backlog, you're never going to see your photo." It's like, no, that's you being disorganized and not being professional. I make it my point to try to clear my backlog. If I am so behind on my backlog, and I think, oh Jesus, I've got 2-3 projects, I want to get that done first. Do you know what? I'm going to cancel some of the events of going to Comic-Con because I feel like that's the right thing to do. Yes, I understand this is not a hobby that doesn't get paid and things like that. I totally understand that, and it's up to the photographer's right to edit and do the work. I totally understand that. It's fine, but at the same token, you still kind of have like a virtual contract that if you took someone's photo, I feel like you're obligated to complete that job, and I feel I'm just so pissed off that anyone who doesn't still act professional, because you could still do a free shoot at Comic-Con, and then later on, 1 or 2 people might go, hey Ed, love to do a photo shoot outside of Comic-Con on location, and I'll pay you because I enjoy the professionalism you deliver. But if you're going,
Wait, you get paid?
I wish. if you keep going, oh, we've got a backlog and things like that, it just feels like it reflects on me quite a lot. I think I'm internalizing this a lot, and I understand that, which is fine. I'll accept that, but still. Anyway, that's my piece. I'm stepping on my soapbox. Someone else can just jump in.
Right. So the thing is, I understand what you're saying with internalizing it, but I think that somewhat it can be a benefit because if one has a really, really big backlog and they continue to shoot, it just doesn't seem very responsible. It doesn't seem like you're managing your time or even prioritizing things correctly. And it really reflects as a photographer, as a person. And I understand, as you said, photography is often a hobby and something that happens around a full-time job or something like that. But I personally, I'm waiting for pictures that were shot over a year and a half ago, and I know how to edit. I often just ask for raws, and they can't even give me those after like many, many months. So it's just bad time management and a lot of it's a bit of a disappointment as well, because us as cosplayers, we take the time to get ready and we look our best, and sometimes it can feel like if a photographer isn't necessarily getting to us, it can get you a little bit, because you're like, oh, my picture's not good enough. Did I not look good enough in those for them to, be motivated to edit them? So I think there's a lot of feelings about this.
No, I get, I totally understand. I totally get what you just said there, and there are times I wish I could. I mean, I follow a set guidelines for myself. I basically say I edit photos in order. I try not to prioritize either an event ahead of each of another, or a certain person over another. And I had, but unless there's literally a special request, like, oh my god, Ed, I remember seeing that photo at the back of your camera. I want to submit it to a competition or a magazine or something like that. Could you get that photo to me as soon as you can? If I agree to that, then fine, I will do that. But other than that, I will stick to, whenever I took that photo, I'll edit in turn and things like that. And like I said earlier, if I feel like I'm like running behind on myself, like I've got so much of a backlog of photos, I just won't go to an event. I just won't go, because Comic-Con is meant to be a place for me to enjoy myself. If I turn up to an event and I'm like stressed out of my mind going, oh my god, if I keep taking more photos here, then I'll increase my backlog. I've got to remind myself this is a hobby, it's something I enjoy and do, and backlog is not a flex. It's close to like stress. It's like the reverse of con crunch for you guys, from you cosplayers to photographers. This is, it's just not something I feel that's a professional thing to do. That's all.
I mean, like, if I find, like, photographers go, oh, I have this backlog of, like, 7 events, I'm like, I'm not going to work with you, because it just shows that you just have a lack of disregard for, like, cosplayers, the hard work they do. And then they go, oh, but I really want to shoot with you. And I'm just like, no. Like, I've turned down some photographers that have had a backlog, because I've got a Mortal Kombat group on the Saturday for this MCM. And I've said, no, I'm not working with you, because I know I'm not going to get my photos for at least 6 months. Like, we need them preferably like within a few months if there's no backlog. But with, like, if you know they've got some backlog, I'm expecting them to be like 5 months, and I'm happy to wait. But if you've got a backlog of like 7 events, that's at least 9 months if you're going to do it at a very slow pace. And it just demotivates cosplayers working with you as well because of it. And it's like you then get a reputation of having a backlog instead of having, say, a small backlog that people go, oh yeah, I can wait. I know that their photos are really good. I'm happy to wait. Or if they're happy to send the raws, which I can edit as long as I put photo by blah, edited by me, and like that kind of stuff.
No, I totally get that. I totally understand all of that, except for one of them. But we'll probably have to cross that bridge in a moment. But talking about crossing bridges and all that, I think with my one's properly done now. Libra, I'll let you talk your bit for the thing. You go ahead.
It's working. It's photographers only working with certain cosplayers and having only one style for like all their photos. Like, there is no variety. So like if you're cosplaying League of Legends, it's going to have more dynamic style, like, to fit their characters, but it's like you see their photos and they're just static and boring. And it's only so, like, if you say to them, oh, is it possible to have a shoot with you? He goes, oh no, I'm working with these cosplayers, and that is it. And it just gives a very elitist look to that photographer. Whereas it's like you should be able to work with a range of cosplayers. Like, you could have, say, an up-and-coming cosplayer that somehow went viral. They've walked up to you. You don't really know who they are, and they've gone, can I have a shoot? And then you go, no. And they have a shoot with you, and then it explodes. And then they go, oh, why didn't I do a photo of them? Because they've already worked with just certain people.
Yeah.
And that one style, which doesn't work for every photo. Which I don't get. Because I've had photos come back, and I'm like, that doesn't work for that character. Why did you shoot it like that? And they don't give me a reason. They're like, oh, that's just how I work. And I'm like, that's not a good enough reason.
No, I totally understand that. I sympathise with you a lot. I've had I've had thoughts about this long time ago. I will play devil's advocate by saying, sorry, I keep jumping in first, but let's face it, it's my podcast. I personally think the reason why certain photographers work with certain cosplayers or vice versa, because I think if you work with someone once and then again, you slowly build up some rapport. You understand each other's workings. You know how each other's workflow works, and then therefore it makes it easier then to take a photo because you're on, you're more or less in sync with each other. You're on the same page. You can talk about things quite seamlessly, and it just really just. I'm trying to think, just not saying roll off the tongue. That's when you're talking, but it really snappy when you start taking photos and things like that. But I think on the other hand, with the other, what's it called? The other hat on. If you don't learn to work with different people, you will struggle to how to work with other people who don't either communicate well or maybe something that you didn't realize is is this how models model? And you go, oh shit. It's like, so for my other branding, my HKC brand, I worked with a latex model who I've never worked with, but she really enjoyed how I worked because I feel like because I know how to talk to people, because used to work in a takeaway. I shot with so many different people with different styles. Well, I like to think of a different style or a different look every time, or I try to anytime. And yeah, I think it made me very easy to like quickly think on the feet. But I said, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that, let's do this, let's go over here, let's go over there. Things like that. I can think very quickly on my feet. That's what I want to say.
I think another thing is like photographers that won't shoot a certain series is also another thing, because like I get that you don't understand saying like the franchise or the series, but those cosplayers will show you all the poses, all the photos, like kind of how they would like the photo to look. They'll kind of give you directions upon themselves for you to work with. And if a photographer isn't willing to kind of put themselves out there to try it once, it slightly worries me as a photographer, like as a cosplayer, because I'm like, your work is amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but you won't try a different franchise, like, and see where it can go, because then you could get cosplayers that aren't even in this country. They see the photos and go, hey, I want to work with you. And they won't get that by just sticking to that one franchise, because eventually that franchise may disappear. Like, franchises come and go, much like fandoms, and one day that fandom may not even exist. And then you're not there, like, there's nothing for you to shoot because you haven't broadened. It's like when people go, oh, but you only cosplay this, but you could have different characters in that franchise where people go, I want to cosplay this person, and then they go, oh, this one, and then eventually they will broaden out.
Absolutely. No, I totally understand. I'm very, very conscious that B has been very quiet for the whole of this, so I want to bring them in very quickly.
I've been sitting here forming thoughts, so I have. I'll say as much as I can in a short amount of time, so we can get onto my pet peeve. But anyway, so I understand the thing about not wanting to shoot a certain franchise because, you see how big something like Genshin is, and so many people are cosplaying from Genshin. But what you also need to remember that there are so many different characters with different stylization, different characteristics from even just one game like Genshin Impact. So you can already get quite a lot of breadth by just shooting one franchise. And I understand that maybe photographers can get a little bit bored, but I feel like every cosplayer has their different flair, and you need to consider sometimes past the character and more who you're shooting, the cosplayer that is actually wearing the costume and what they can bring to your photography. And that kind of leads me on to saying that, photography, I am not a photographer, but maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but a lot of skills you get better and you find yourself, you find your niche through experience. And if you're refusing to shoot certain people, you are taking away that opportunity to get more experience and learn something new. Because this cosplayer can bring a new light onto shooting, maybe they bring a new set of poses or just a vibe that maybe you haven't experienced before. And by taking away this opportunity to work with new people or new media, I feel like maybe a photographer is closing themselves off to growing.
No, yeah, no, like I said, I think we're all in agreement of it. It's just, it'll be quite interesting how we all vote for this one. But yeah, it's, yeah, I keep saying this from podcast to podcast. I understand if someone goes, "Oh, I don't understand your franchise. I can't take photos of it." Fine, that's a genuine reaction. But I also call that bullshit because I feel like all you need to do is just point the camera and just take a picture. It's not
Or
that
just
difficult.
Google it.
Yeah, everyone's got like phones in their
Pinterest
pockets.
Yeah, just Pinterest, Google. Like, you can even hashtag it on Instagram, and photos will come up. Like, it is not like pre-internet days. We now have the internet. Just Google what it is and go, oh, okay. And then you'll see characters in the images and be like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Like, especially with Genshin and like League, like there's so many characters. All of them have their own flair. You will find that one character in that franchise that you can work with. And then maybe their friend will then bring in someone else and it will give a different vibe. And it would be like, some of them are like friends, enemies. You have that there. You just blind to see it. So I feel some photographers.
No, absolutely. Anyway, I think we've spoken quite a bit about this, and I want to bring Bree on. Bree? No,
Bree?
B. Sorry, B. I'm so sorry, B. Hello. I'm gonna bring her on her one before we all make our vote. So you tell us about your what would you like to put into the FnC Room 101?
So I've experienced quite a lot of photographers that have not wanted me to airbrush or edit in various ways my face in pictures. I can understand that maybe why they don't want me to, because it changes their work maybe from their vision or what they want. Or maybe they're just expecting me to do all these crazy tweaks that isn't what I have in mind. I just want a cheeky jaw lift, maybe to change something a little bit, just to bring out a little bit more confidence and make me happier with how I am presenting myself and with my work. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do with makeup and posing and everything. And sometimes you need a little bit more to just make yourself a little bit happier. So I like to be able to have that control of my pictures, and as I mentioned in the earlier one about sniping, how I present myself online. I also mentioned that my self-confidence isn't the best, and if this is something that can help me reach a higher level of confidence, I would like to do it. I'd like to help myself be prouder of what I do and what I'm creating. Again, I kind of do understand the photographer's side, but this is something that I think I would like to be able to do a little bit more, and maybe it's just a case of finding the right photographer. But I would like a little bit more liberty with what I can do with my own face in pictures.
I'm gonna let Libra go first before I launch into a rant. So you go ahead.
No, I'm going to let you rant first.
Oh fuck! Oh no!
Oh, I'm curious.
Okay,
now.
fine. I mean, I agree with like if you're allowed to edit, because like some people they might have that ever so slightly double chin that cosplay like photographers will not edit out, and it is my pet peeve because I hate mine with a passion, and I just want it removed. Just a little bit of editing around like chin, that is fine. Airbrush, but it's when I find photographers that have taken a photo and they've edited you to something completely that is not you. They post it on the internet and then they meet you in real life and they're like, you don't look like your photo. That's what gripes me with editing. But I would like to be able to edit my own photos as well. Just ever so slightly tweak, not a lot.
I may interject really, really quickly.
Go for it.
Sorry. Also, part of this does come from maybe photographers not putting me into the most flattering of face angles. I have a very square face, so things that work for conventionally shaped faces do not often work for me. So in an attempt to be able to use the pictures that they kindly shot of me, sometimes this editing is required to make me look usable in a content way.
Welcome to Eddie's rant.
Wait, I'm actually excited to hear this.
Yeah, everyone
Right.
get a cup of tea and a biscuit.
The kids have a seat. We're gonna have a good story time here.
Bring your pets.
I have had so many issues with people editing my photos. So from a photographer's point of view, I think if someone edits my photo without my permission, it just says to me, you could not trust me. You could not trust me by talking to me and telling me what you wanted from this photo. And because of that, it feels like someone has pissed on me from a great height and somehow got in my mouth. That's what it feels like when someone edits my photos. I openly want people to message me and go, look, can you make this change? And I'll say, let me do it so that one, I can learn, and two, we can then both have a matching set of photos. I will actually say something quite interesting. I just found out today that photos I've sent out, someone's already edited them already. I could just see it straight away, and I'm like going, huh. But I will say that I remember having chats with them throughout the whole process, and they were having, shall we say, an off day. I won't say why, I won't say what. And I'm half debating, should I blacklist this person? Because it's not because I enjoy working with them or things like that. It's more that I can understand what you guys are saying, because you are putting your face out there on the internet. You want to at least have some control of the face that you put online. You want to make sure that it's the most flattering or a fairly true representation of yourself online. Totally get that. But what I don't understand is, why could you not speak to the photographer and say, can you do me a favor? Can you do this? If you can't do this, can I now have your permission to do it for myself? I will send you the photos back the other way so that at least we both have a copy of it. And if neither of you come to an agreement, then you can just go, then just say, thank you, can you not use my photos then? Don't post them online. That's the only way I can think that could work.
Unless some people are just scared to tell the photographer they're not happy with the edit. Like, I'm not going to mention a photographer, but he did the same, and I went, screw this. I went and edited it because I literally hated everything about it. And I posted it, and I didn't credit him for it because I know it's a really bad thing to do, but I couldn't see it with his edit. And I asked him nicely, I said, can I edit it? And he went, I don't see what's wrong with it. And I went, and literally listed about 20 things I found that were wrong with it. And he went, I don't see it. So I went and edited it myself.
That to me is a bad photographer who is not willing to listen to critique.
But then he put in the comments, oh, I really like this photo. And I went, yeah, it's the one I edited. And then they posted the other, like the one that he'd put up, which I'd edited, and everyone went, what is this photo?
Yeah. I will say one thing. I do feel like at times us photographers weaponize that clause that says you can't edit photos. It's like, it's their face in the photo actually as well. Yeah. As much as we have the legal right that you shouldn't be able to edit someone else's photo, you should also have an open discussion by saying, if you don't like these photos, then talk about it, discuss over it. B, you were talking about a shoot that we did earlier in April.
Hi.
I'm actually about to start that project and edit those photos. So I'm now shitting bricks now.
I'm so sorry.
I am shitting bricks that I'm about to edit these photos, and you're not going to like it.
Beginning, I do always ask if I can edit, and if they say no, I will then open up that conversation. Sometimes I found that it is easier to do it myself, just because of the unconventional face shape that I mentioned. Because, like you said, Libra, I've had that conversation with some photographers before. I've said what I don't like, and they just won't accept it. So I've had so many of those interactions that, sometimes you then form a habit of just trying to avoid these conflicts. Yes, I always ask for permission. I don't do anything that's against a photographer's desires, I guess. But yeah, sometimes yeah, these things happen, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Eddie has his list of, I'm not going to say rules, I'm going to say guidelines.
Thank you, yes.
We'll call it guidelines for his shit. And it's like, always credit. And you see some photos of yours and they haven't even credited you. And I'm like, bitch, please. And you see people in the comments like going, do you want to credit this person? Do you want to credit him? And then they start crediting you in the comments. And I'm like, this just shows bad etiquette, or they're a new person and they don't know that you're meant to credit them.
Yeah.
If not, if you're going to put a post on Instagram, just tag them in the photo.
Absolutely. It's literally a 3-second task. And yeah, and and look, I don't want to go too much into my guidelines and things like that, but yeah, I mean, the reason I have the guidelines is to, one, educate those who don't know about these things, but two, those who should know have no excuse. That's what I'm trying to say. But to go back to B's comment, the way that you were saying it earlier sounded like, well, if I don't like this photo, I will just edit for. But no, glad to hear that you do ask permission and do things like that.
No, I could never bring myself to do it without asking. Oh God, no.
I always ask. But
yeah, exactly.
I think some photographers as well, like, they're very high and mighty.
Mm.
We know of one.
I'm not
going to mention his name.
Good.
But we know one, and let's put it this way, I've done a few shoots with him, and I haven't seen all the photos.
Eek. What I was going to say, what I was going to say is I can't now, and now I'm a little bit relieved. I can't wait to edit those photos for you, and like, let's, if you don't like what you see, we can have that open discussion about how we're going to make it better.
Yes, I look forward to it.
Just join Eddie's guidelines. You can never leave.
It's a cult, really. It's a cult. Anyway, we should put to a vote because I've just realised how much time we're about to run out, and I want to do a quick one, and then we'll probably do a podcast extra on the fourth one. So, anyway, who did I? Oh, I went first, didn't I? Shit. Okay. It's between backlog, shit with certain people and their styles, and don't edit, and they're not allowing to edit their face. I'm sorry, I can't let go of the backlog. For me, I will die on this hill. If you can't clear your backlog, don't go to Comic-Con. Clear your backlog. Be a professional. I know you're not getting paid for it, but still, you should act professional because you never know what life could lead you. Sorry. Anyway, Libra, what about you?
Would you that hill too? I join you on that hill. Sorry for cutting in, but it's backlog.
Yeah, backlog.
Okay. So big.
It is backlog.
Yes! God! Winner! Chicken dinner! Sorry about that. I never win in life. So yeah, thank you. Anyway, thank you. We're going to do a very quick one. We'll do the food one next. If you want to hear the fourth one about life, I'm going to put that as a podcast extra on Patreon. So we'll, once we've done the food one and done our goodbyes, we'll head over to the Patreon page and we'll hear the fourth one. But we'll do a very quick one. It's going to be a bit of food. Who hasn't gone first? We'll let Libra go first. So what about food you want to put into the FnC Room 101? Very quickly, go.
It's so controversial. Avocados, I just don't get it. Like, it's the texture. I just don't get why everyone just has smashed avocados and all this. I just don't get it. I just don't.
You're the best for this opinion. I support it completely.
Amazing. B, what about you? What about food would you like to put into the mythical Room 101? FnC 101. Shit, carry on.
For me, it's pushy vegans. I understand why you're doing this and I respect you, but please do not try and recruit me. If I wanted to do it, I would have done it already. Please don't make me feel bad about my choices. I had a girl in high school who would regularly show me videos of slaughterhouses. Please don't do this.
We want to eat our meat in peace.
Damn right. My one very quickly is similar to the avocados. I don't quite get the buzz about salted caramel. I don't mind the flavour. I just don't understand why it's a thing as well. I just think it's a bit. I don't know. I think it's nice, but I wouldn't want to have it all the time. And I see it everywhere now, and I'm like going, but I don't. I wouldn't say no if I saw it on the menu, but I wouldn't naturally go towards it. So that's it, really. Libra, which of the three would you like to? Who would you like to put your vote for?
Pushy vegans.
Pushy vegans. B, would you like to stay with yours or change?
100%. I am staying with the pushy vegans.
And then on my vote, I'm going to also pick on pushy vegans. We're not saying vegans are the worst; it's the pushy vegans. So 100% that is.
It's the ones that go in restaurants and just show a picture of a cow, and I'm like, I know where my food comes from.
I'm aware. I'm completely aware. Let me eat it in peace.
Yeah.
I just remembered what I was going to originally do about the food one. I was going to say pushy waiters. I fucking hate waiters who just sit around, who like don't take your orders without a piece of paper, without like pen and paper, or just don't act like waiters. Anyway, that's not. I'll say that for another time. Anyway, thank you very much for being on this one. As I said, we'll do one more. We'll do it on the podcast extra on the Patreon pages. So I just want to say thank you, B. Thank you for Libra. B, where can they find you on the social medias?
They can find me at h.oneybii, aka honeybee with a dot after the H on Instagram. Thank you.
Fantastic. Do you want to promote your furry business?
Oh no, this isn't the podcast for that.
Oh no, go for it.
Yeah,
do
for it.
Okay. Well then, my fursuit making Instagram is T Tower, but it's spelt funny because the username was taken, so it's spelled TEATQWR. Somehow that makes T Tower.
Fantastic. Libra, where can they find you on the social medias?
They can find me on Instagram under Librally7. I also have a Twitch page, which is also Librally7, and on TikTok as well. Somehow I made it to TikTok under Librally7.
Fantastic. If anyone needs to find me on the social medias, you need to go to foodandcosplay.org/links. That's where you'll find all my social media pages. If you go to foodandcosplay.org, generally you'll find cosplay photos and articles that I put up and write up. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, you'll find previously recorded podcasts with Honey talking about furries. It's Libra's first time, so hopefully we'll bring her back on another podcast. But I've done other subjects with other guests and things like that. If you go to patreon.com/foodandcosplay, you can help donate £2 to help produce these podcasts, but also listen to that podcast extra where we'll talk about something about life we do not like. And some of it is going to be so controversial or so dumb. You really need to listen to this because I can imagine what I'm going to say is going to be so dumb. And the other two don't
expect anything less.
Exactly, and then they don't know what my one is because I only just thought about it just now. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. They're going to say, no, actually, I always forget to do this. But thank you very much for being on the podcast, B and Libra.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yes, it was brilliant to be back.
Yeah.
Yay! And apologies to Jessica Negri. She can get on the podcast. We'll get her on another time. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. And B and Libra are going to say goodbye. So, bye, guys!
Bye!
Bye! Bye!
Bye!
Yippee!